All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Today we're going to be looking at this source material called Realistic AI Image Tools,
Hmm.
which honestly doesn't give us a lot to go off of, right?
Right, yeah, just from that title.
Yeah, what are we even talking about here?
Well, I mean, when we say realistic AI image tools, what we really mean is AI that can generate images that are essentially indistinguishable from a real photograph.
Okay, so not like the old school, AI images that were obviously fake and kind of pixelated and,
Yeah, you're not talking about like a blurry JPEG.
right, like this is something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, this is like high definition stuff that could, really fool you.
So are we talking about like deep fakes then? Is that kind of,
I mean, that's definitely a part of it. I think deepfakes are kind of like a subset of this larger world of, realistic AI image creation.
okay, so give me for instance then, like what would be a realistic AI image tool? Like what would it do? Like what would be an example?
Well, so like imagine you're a designer and you're working on a website mockup. Instead of having to, hire models or use stock photos, you could just have an AI generate images of people
Hmm.
that don't even exist, faces that have never been seen before.
Wow, and they would look real.
And they would look totally real.
That's crazy.
Yeah, or like, let's say you're an architect, you're designing a building, you could use AI to create these like photorealistic renderings of the building before it's even built, so clients can actually get a sense of like what it's going to look like in the real world.
So it's not just like applications for, the creative world. We're talking about like real world utility here too.
Exactly. Yeah. I
Sure.
mean, think about like training simulations for like medical professionals or pilots or even like generating data for scientific research. You could use AI to create images of like cells or galaxies that, we might not be able to capture with traditional methods.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it's really powerful stuff.
So obviously this has huge implications for like industries like advertising and marketing.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you even imagine like how much this is going to change things up?
I mean, think about it. You could have ad campaigns that are personalized down to the individual level. Like they could generate an image of you in the product or something like that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, or like, e-commerce sites, you could actually see how clothes would look on you without even trying them on.
Well, that's a good point.
Like using AI to generate that image.
Yeah, like a virtual fitting room or something.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about like visual customization and personalization.
But I mean, that sounds amazing, but also kind of scary.
Right.
What are some of the potential downsides here? Because I can imagine there are some.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest concerns is just the potential for misuse, especially when it comes to spreading misinformation. Like, if anyone can create a hyper-realistic image of anything, how do we know what's real anymore?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And I think it also raises questions about like trust and verification in the digital age.
So it's like seeing is no longer believing. What are the long-term consequences of that?
Right.
I mean, think about journalism history, even like personal relationships.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fundamental shift in how we perceive and interact with visual information. Like, we're going to need new tools and new critical thinking skills to navigate this landscape of AI-generated imagery.
It almost makes me want to go back to like the good old days when,
Right.
it was harder to fake things.
But I mean, there's no going back at this point. So,
It's true.
it's just going to be about adapting and learning how to deal with this new reality.
And being more careful about what we believe.
Exactly. Yeah, like we need to have a renewed focus on media literacy and source verification.
Totally.
Just being more critical of the information that we're consuming.
Well, it's definitely a brave new world.
It is.
But I really appreciate you coming on and like breaking all this down for us because
Yeah.
before this deep dive, I really had no idea
Yeah.
how powerful these tools were.
It's amazing how fast this technology is developing.
It really is. And it's exciting and scary at the same time.
Absolutely.
But, one thing that I keep coming back to is what happens to our sense of reality when we can't trust our own eyes?
Right. It's a big question.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think all of us are going to have to grapple with as this technology continues to evolve.
Absolutely.
So, for all of you listening out there, keep exploring this topic. It's only going to get more fascinating and maybe a little more unsettling from here.
Yeah, definitely. Do your research. Stay informed.
All right, thanks again for joining us,
Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you, Betty.
Bye.